So here we go again. Welcome back to another YouTube FC video. Let's see if we can push on towards the top of the table. I say that, we're already second, so we're doing well. But if you remember last time, oh, got another injury. Ah, that's a shame. Chris Games, broken collarbone. Couple of months, sustained during training. That is annoying, because Chris started to play quite well recently again. But anyway, like I say, we were second, or we are second, I should say. But we lost our last game against Northampton, which was really frustrating. It was almost just like the previous video, or was it the one before that? I can't remember, where we lost against Wimbledon away in the last game of the vid. So yeah, we've clearly got a little bit of a problem with our away record. And that's frustrating because we're starting to get a little bit inconsistent on our travels. But at home we're doing well. We had that draw against York there, which was ridiculous. We really should have won. But their keeper pulled off a lot of good saves. So yeah, so anyway, we've got a friendly now against Macclesfield. So yes, let's just crack on and pick a team for this. Now, I'm not going to call any B-team players in, because everyone, other than Neil, the keeper, so I guess I could have brought him in, but I'll definitely do that soon. But everyone else is injured. Chris Games is injured, I guess he could have gone in the B-team. Dave Psycho Fox is injured for a couple of weeks. That just came up just before I started the video. Twisted knee, couple of weeks. So that's a little bit frustrating. In fact, let's prove it. There we go. Dave. Twisted ankle. So he's out. Could have brought Neil in. Woodland's still injured. How long's Carl out for? 3 months. Yeah, he's well on target to get to the last game, or possibly 2 of the season. So that's a good recovery. TGA Apulius' work permit still not renewed. That's not great. He's an illegal immigrant. But that'll be rectified soon. So let's start with Karen in goal. What I may do, not necessarily, is... In fact, yeah, let's not put Alan on the bench. There's no point, you know. This purpose, really, for these friendlies is to play the B-team players or the guys just on the peripheral, on the edges, on the fringes of the first team. So I'm taking a risk, because wait and see, Karen will get sent off or injured, and we won't have a keeper and we'll concede about 7. But it's a risk that we're going to take. So let's put Riddler on YouTube at right back. Now, he's been playing a few games in the first team lately, and he's starting to do quite well. So once again, it really goes to show that if you play well, then you're in contention to stay in the team. And I think that's good for everyone involved as well. Because I'm sure it must be a little bit boring to constantly see the same players playing week in, week out. Obviously, you know, we've got to do it for a lot of the players. But it is nice to bring, you know, just the occasional player in. Even if it's 1 or 2 players, you know, every couple of games. It's just nice to mix it up. So let's start with Trusteft in the middle and Adam, Adfoot 1. We'll put the other Adam on the bench. We'll put... Let's start with Crash Test Gaming. But we will be looking soon, I think, to put him back into the first team. Because, you know, 0-0 there and losing that one, just 1 goal. And what was that as well? Yeah, the Wimbledon defeat. So we're not really scoring as frequently as I want us to. So I'll bear that in mind. Now let's start with Adam. And we'll put Richard on the bench. In midfield, we'll go with... we've done our midfield, so let's bring on another midfielder on the bench. Let's go with Trevor. At left back, we'll start with Martin. The 2 centre-backs, let's go with Stu, who's back from his suspension, and Matthias. And then we'll put Pedro on the bench. No, actually, let's start Pedro. And on the left wing, let's put Sean. And then let's have Cod 2 fan. And then 1 more sub. Let's go with Craig. I'm pretty pleased with that. That's a pretty good team. And the captain... What's Crash Test's influence? Alright, fair enough. The captain's Crash Test Gaming. Why not? So Macclesfield Town, so it doesn't really matter how well we do here. I just want to keep players happy and maybe get an insight into how well they're performing. Because if someone gets a 9 or a 10... or an 8 man of the match, or scores a couple of goals, then like I say, it's going to make me think about them for the first team. So please don't think that these games are pointless, because they're not. They're kind of important for the squad. But I would like to be scoring here. What's going on? Half an hour gone. Macclesfield, a non-league team. Doesn't mean to say we're going to beat them every week, of course. We could conceivably lose this. Great timing. Brilliant. Unbelievable. So we're 1-0 down. Let's make a couple of subs. I should really have put Neil on the bench. I should have done that. That was a little bit silly, but Neil will be back in the first team soon. Maybe put Karen in the B team just to mix it up. And Neil will definitely play the next friendly. In fact, maybe Neil might play the entire next friendly. Just to kind of make up for this. So let's put Adam on for trust heft. Pedro is playing terribly. So we're going to... let's take him off. No, let's keep him on. No, actually, let's take him off again. I mean, 5 is rubbish. But the problem is we've not got really anyone who's a right winger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to slightly change the formation. Put Crash Test there. Because he is a forward who can play on the right. And this is more of a forward position. I mean, I guess this is the best example, really. But that'll do. Then we'll bring Pedro off. And put Richard on. No, what I could do... Yeah, let's change all that. Let's just put Cod 2 fan. I forgot about that. Because I'm so used to number 12 being the sub-keeper. So that's fine. I'll bring Adam off and I'll put Richard on. And Trust Theft off and Adam on. So the same subs really coming on. Just in a slightly different formation and for maybe different people there. So yeah, that's fine. Happy with that. And then 2 more subs we'll make around about the hour mark. Martin scored. It's a shame it doesn't count as an official goal. Because that, I think, is his first goal for the club. Yep, hasn't yet played for the reserves, but 7 games for the first team, and now, obviously... I think this isn't his first friendly. I think he's played 2 or 3, but straight away we're down. I shouldn't really be reading too much into this, because, you know, it is a reserve fringe team we're putting out, so... I'm not going to ask too many questions of the players, but still... This isn't great. Let's bring Adam off and we'll put Trevor on, and then Craig comes on for Riddler and try and get something out of this. Richard, ooh. So yeah, the possession bar is well in their favour. Not going particularly well for us. Oh wow, again, every time I say something like that, they bloody score. Yeah, this is frustrating, but it's a good run out. Don't make it go to 4. That'll really rub salt into the wounds. 3-1. That's unexpected, I've got to be honest. I wasn't expecting that when I decided to play Macclesfield. 55 possession to 45. That is rubbish. So I think it's fair to say that was kind of a pointless exercise having that game. Let's have a look to see if anybody impressed. Nope. That was rubbish. To be fair, Martin did well. 8 out of 10, and he got the goal. A few 7s, fair enough. But, yeah, that was absolutely uninspiring. Congratulations. Oxford drew there. That's a good result for us. And Exeter drew. So, yeah, pleased with that. Crash Test Gaming will be out for about a week with bruised ribs. That's a shame, because I was just talking about bringing him back into the first team. And now he's out definitely for the next game, and probably the one after. Okay, Oxford United. What a crunch match this is. Let's take everybody off. Really got to make the right calls in this. Because this is a really crucial game. Now, before we pick anyone, let's take a quick look at the league table. Let's get rid of all these guys. So there we are, level on points. Level on games played. They've got a 2-point advantage. So if they win, they'll be on 62, and that'll be 5 points ahead of us. And that'll be quite a gap. I'm just pleased Oxford didn't win their last game, because that would have been a bit of a disaster. Bradford, game in hand if they win their level on points with us. Exeter, not that far behind. Same with Southend, but Southend have started to lose a lot of games. So they're on a bad run of form. Let's check this out. Yeah, look at that, starting to dip. What about us? Well, it started to dip, not really. I think we've only really dipped because we've played a game less. You know, and when you're playing games less, when other teams have got games in hand, then you're constantly kind of going to go back and forth until you're all on an even keel. So yeah, this is an important game. Ideally we wouldn't lose, but let's face it, there's a possibility we might. I would be more than happy to accept a point. More than happy. But we're going to go for the win, of course we are. We're YouTube. YouTube FC. Right, Alan, between the sticks. Karen, sub. Right back. No, let's not put Dave there. Mark, good form. Riddler, average. Craig, average. Den, very good. That sold it to me. Den, right back. Left back. Martin did well, didn't he? So that's food for thought. Good, very low. Good, okay. Yeah, okay, I'll do that then. Why not? Again, giving people a chance. Martin played really well in the last match. He was our best player. Scored. So, starts the game. Stu, average. Barry, got to play. Matthias, good. But what about Dave? Good and good. So, that's better. Actually, let's put... Dave seems to be the number 4 because he can play on the right-hand side as well. So, that's kind of... It makes more sense. Left wing. Probably got to be Ben, hasn't it, really? The other alternative is... Ooh, Sean. Very good and okay. But so is Ben. So I'm going to put Sean on the bench. I think it's a bit of a no-brainer to start Sean. Superb form. Form has dipped a little bit lately. Not terribly so, but compared to what it was. But that's not really a problem. In the middle, again, I guess I'll have to play myself with superb form. About Trevor, good. Owen, average. I don't really want to be playing anyone with average form or poor form against such a good team that Oxford are. So I'm going to put Trevor on the bench just to cover us in, you know, in midfield. He's a defensive midfielder, so if we need to protect a lead, I mean, there's no guarantees you're ever going to protect a lead, but, you know, you can at least try, and that will help us. Let's start with Ash and Pete. So it's kind of back to how it... Ash and Pete. Back to how it started in regards to, you know, when they were scoring a lot of goals. Pete on 26. Ash on 25. Nice little battle going there. Another midfielder. How's everyone doing? Poor. Very good. Poor. Very poor. Average. Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do then. Oh, this is interesting. Right, good, okay, good. Very good. So let's put Richard on the bench. And then we need another midfielder. Let's start with Trevor, actually. We'll show Oxford our intentions, and he'll just be defensive straight from the off. And then maybe... What about Luke? Poor form. I'm kind of contradicting myself here, but I just think it's offering an alternative to what we've got. You know, with 2 defensive midfielders. So I'm going to put Luke on the bench, even though his form is poor. So that's a midfielder, or 2 midfielders there. A striker and maybe a defender. Who should we put on? Let's put Stu on the bench. Yeah, let's just go with that. I'm pretty pleased with that, really. I think we've picked a team, generally speaking, who deserve to play. I think that's fair to say. Feel free to tell me if you disagree. But I think that's a fair selection. But this is going to be a tough game. Dave, yellow card. Pete scores 1-0. On form. Barry, yellow card. So that's 2 yellow cards now. 3 yellow cards. Den as well. In 11 minutes. That is that is something else. I'm going to have to watch that for half time because I can't afford a player sent off against Oxford of all teams. I've been to this ground, actually. Just thought I'd throw that in there. In fact, I've been to quite a lot of these, so I'm not going to say every time I've been to one of them. Oh, dear me. 1-1. That's disappointing, but remember, it is Oxford. They are top of the league, and we are 2-1 up. And did I just see Den, of all people, scoring? Oh, it's been disallowed. Oh, mate. Bad times. Oh, that is double bad times. Goal disallowed, and then they score. That is a sucker punch. A sucker punch. And look at that. I mean, not taking your chance at all. This is what I mean. Unbelievable. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring Trevor off. I'm going to put Sean on because he's more of an attacking midfielder. He's left-sided, so I'll put him on the left side, albeit in the centre. Oh, that's a shame. We should have been 2-1 up. We could have been. And it just turned, just in an instant, goal disallowed, then they score. Literally went straight up the other end of the pitch and scored. We don't really want to lose this game, but it was kind of always on the cards, wasn't it, really? And the possession, we're being dominated. Completely dominated. In fact, it shouldn't really be a surprise, but since taking off Trevor, who's a defensive midfielder, and putting on Sean, who's more attacking, that possession has kind of gone from there to down here now. So that's not good. So I'm going to come off. I've got a yellow card. Despite what I just said about the possession, and now I'm bringing off another defensive midfielder, I think we should put Luke on and somewhat go for it, which is a big risk. I'm not going to go all-out attack. That's kind of a little bit pointless. You know, if there was 2 or 3 games left of the season and we desperately needed something, fair enough. But, you know, we're only in February, so it's not too bad. And, like I say, we probably were expected to lose this, really. And it's away from home, and our form is terrible. Terrible. But if we can sneak something from this... Okay, I'm going to... What should I do? Let's bring Martin off. His form has improved a little bit, but still, not very good. We'll have Barry, Dave and Den as centre-backs. We'll put Richard alongside Ash. We'll bring Pete back a little bit, but he's still a forward. Let's go long ball again. Why not? It might not be pretty, but who cares? See if it works. We're leaving it late, of course, so it probably isn't. Yeah, lost 2-1. That's a shame. But what can I say? Look at that, completely outdone. Yeah, well, I think we deserve to lose, quite frankly. But I feel we did pick the right team. I'm sure everyone who didn't play is going to disagree, but, you know, looking at the form, it was, I think, the right thing to do. It was always going to be a tough game. They're top of the league. They've got further away from us now, which is a bit of a pain, but such is life. And our away form, again, is quite scary. It really is. Yeah, 2-1. Wow, 5-point difference now. Teams below are starting to gain. I mean, look at this. This is actually pretty scary. You know, last playoff position there, Exeter. We've got them next, by the way, so let's wait and see what happens there. They're only 4 points behind us. Wow, you see what happens when you start to lose and when you start to drop points? If everyone else wins, they catch you up before you know it. There's the semi-final, first legs of the League Cup. City beating Leicester. Vincent Kompany, what a great player. And United beat Bradford. Bradford? Bloody hell, they're in our division. Let's see the United game. Nice away kit. Leighton Baines, they must have signed him. 7.25 million, bargain. So, yeah, that looks like it's going to be an all-Manchester League Cup final. Now, we can watch games. I don't think I'll put you through that. But you know, when all these games come up, we can click on it before it starts and watch it in its entirety, just like we would do when we're watching one of our YouTube games. And I guess it's pretty much pointless doing that, other than, I guess, to feel maybe a little bit more involved. But it doesn't really serve any purpose. But you can do it. Right, I'm suspended. That can't be true. I'm not a dirty player. 22 disciplinary points. Oh no, now Sean's injured for a month. Groin strain. But Crash Test is back. So, light at the end of the tunnel. There's Bradford won, didn't want that. Chesterfield won, we didn't want that. Because they're above us now and Bradford are level on points with us. But they have a game in hand. This is going to be really, really tight. I mean, look at this. This is crazy. So to anyone out there who thought maybe I'd rigged it and made YouTube FC players the best in the league, I think this is proof that I haven't. I didn't want to do that anyway. Because, you know, it'd be boring. Where would the fun be, honestly, if we were just winning every single game? I think that'd be rubbish. Right, so, Exeter at home today. This is going to be a tough game. And then Rotherham away. Now, Rotherham, ordinarily, I wouldn't be too bothered about them. I can't even remember where they are in the league. But I'll check just before we play. But because it's away, I'm thinking, oh, God. So let's look at the previous game, as per usual. Yeah, a number of poor performances, really. So let's straight away take out Ben and Richard. Doesn't mean to say I'm not going to put them back in a second, but just to clear a bit of space, let's take out Trevor, Martin and Den. Den, Martin and Trevor. What I'm going to do, I'm going to bring Owen back in, because I think it's been 2 or 3 games. Christy's got good form, so she's going to come back on the bench. When am I suspended? For 2 matches starting the 21st of Feb. So I'm going to miss the Rotherham and Chesterfield games. Chesterfield is another big game for us. So I'll play in this one because, like I say, I'm going to be out for 2. And my form is still superb, so bit of a no-brainer there, isn't it? I don't think Ash has scored for a while, has he? Let's just have a quick look. We lost that 2-1. Obviously didn't play in that. Yeah, maybe. He scored against Stevenage Borough, so yeah, 4 games back. So not great. Let's bring... I tell you what. Actually, yeah, let's do that. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put... Because Sean's injured for a month, and Ash can play on the right as an attacking midfielder as well as obviously a forward. So I'm going to bring Crash Test back in and put Ash on the wing. Keep the captaincy. And this may well work. I'll put Cod 2 fan. How did Luke do when he came on? Yeah, he did all right. But still poor, so I will drop him and put Cod 2 fan in. Again, he's another one who can play on the right. I'm going to start Sean. I'm going to put Adam on the bench. Right back. So that's good, okay. Average. Good, okay. Let's start with Craig. And shall we bring Darren back in? Yeah. Centre backs. I reckon I'll change one of these. Yeah, Barry's gone down from superb to very good, which obviously very good is very good. But I'll mix it up a bit and I'll put Stu back in and I'll put Matthias on the bench. I don't think Matthias has started for a while. Yeah, I'm pretty pleased with that. Let's just go with that. For the next game, we're going to have suspensions anyway. Well, suspension with me. So that will be forced to mix up a little bit more. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's go with it. We've put Crash Test in again, who seems to do well. Unexpectedly. He nearly scored again. So this is going to be a tough game. Exeter doing very well. Really don't want to lose this. 1-0. I think I've scored again. I'm on a great run of form at the moment. What's going on? Tell you what, never mind Pete and Ash being top scorers. What about me? Oh, Pete, I think, scored. This is going really, really well. And it's making up for the fact that, obviously, we had a poor performance and result against Oxford. Although it was somewhat expected. But to beat Exeter, this more than makes up for it. Oh, crash test. He's had a few chances. Here's another one. He scored. He's on fire. Unbelievable. 3-0 at half-time. We are absolutely dominating. Look at that. I'll make one sub because I think... Let's bring Ash off and we'll put COD 2 fan on because I think that we're not going to screw this up. 3-0 up at half-time. Unless we get a keeper sent off and we've used up our 2 subs, then I think we're going to be fine. Oh, press the space bar to make it go on quicker. And by the way, sometimes if you hear me do that, that's what I'm doing. If you don't press the space bar, this happens. Everything goes in slow. If you press the space bar, it kind of speeds up. Oh, brilliant. So, I'm injured, and I was going to be suspended anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. A foot injury. Wait and see, it'll be like a metatarsal for 6 months knowing me. After starting to score a few goals as well, and superb form. Bloody typical. So let's bring Christie on. A defensive midfielder for a defensive midfielder. 3-0 up. It's still been successful. I guess when you get injuries to teams as well... Oh, no, God, I thought Stu was going to get sent off there. When you get injuries to teams, yeah, it freshens up the squad a little bit more, so it's not too bad. Owens came in and done really, really well, so I'm pleased with that. But I will bring Adam on just to give him a game. And, 15 minutes left. Crash Test has scored another. I should, again, I don't know why I'm surprised. I don't know why I keep being surprised. It's ridiculous. 4-0, and this has been a really good result. And a really pleasing performance as well. Good save by Alan there. Are we going to keep a clean sheet, or are they going to score right at the end just to annoy everybody? Again, good save. So yeah, 4-0, wow. I'm really pleased with that. Everything went absolutely perfectly well. Brilliant performance. Right then, so the 4-0 Division 3 win against Exeter City was a good result. It was a superb result, and I think they should have said that, or at least very good. Just going in there with a good, he's like, a bit of an understatement. Now, how did everyone do? Southend won. Not really bothered about them so much these days. It's more Bradford, isn't it, and Oxford. Oxford drew. Let's see how they got on. That's good. Yeah, pleased with that. But Bradford do have 2 games in hand against us. If they win them both, they go top of the league. So, it's still tight. What about Chesterfield? I didn't look at their result. Can't even see them. Oh, there they are. They won. Yeah, we didn't want that either. Look at that. They had the keeper sent off. Anyway, enough of them. I think we're doing well. So, not too bad considering I'm out for a month with strained ankle ligaments. And that is so true as well. That is typical me. I'll tell you something funny. I went to... this is a few years ago. This is before I come to America. So, it must have been at least 5 or 6 years ago. And I used to work for Barclays. I don't mind saying that because I don't work for them anymore, so it doesn't matter. Like a big kind of, which is an international, I guess, bank. And it was the main head office I worked in and all this kind of stuff. Won't tell you what department, I'm not that stupid. But anyway, me and a load of mates from Barclays, we decided to play football, because a lot of us at that time, in our 20s, we hadn't played for years, got a bit lazy, putting on a bit of a pot belly, which I've still not got rid of. But I never used to be like that. Very athletic. Anyway, that's by the by. And we hired out an outdoor court, an outside football court. And anyone can do it, but, we paid a bit of money, all chipped in, and it was kind of like an AstroTurf surface. And we were all looking forward to it because, we'd planned this about a week or 2 in advance. And I think one of, it might have been the boss. He was the same age as us, but, he was the boss. And we never treated him like the manager because he was the same age as all of us, like I say. So we just treated him like one of the lads, and rightly so. Anyway, so his wife, I think, worked for the sports centre or something. So we got a cheaper deal than we could have. Cutting a long story short, before everyone falls asleep, I was looking forward to it like we all were, like a couple of weeks in advance. And come the day, in the warm-up, the bloody warm-up, I pulled my hamstring. And I thought it was typical me. I couldn't believe it. And, you know, it was just a load of mates just having a laugh, you know, just for a couple of hours playing football. But within 5 minutes, before anything had officially kicked off, and I couldn't believe it. But I didn't tell anyone, because I didn't want to look a tit. So I thought, well, I can't say anything. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go in goal. So I went up to the keeper and I went, you know, do you want to go in goal? It's a bit of a rubbish position, isn't it, really? Surely you want to be out. And he went, I can't remember who it was. Not that, you know, you'd know him anyway. But he was like, yeah, actually, good point. You can go in goal. And I only went in goal because I didn't want to run around, because I couldn't run around because of my bloody hamstring. And I'm not exaggerating, by the way. I literally did pull it. And, you know, that kind of agony when you walk and you can feel it all tensed up. And it was just unbelievable. And I thought, by going in goal, I might not see any of the action and it would work in my favour. However, you know, 10 seconds later, a blazing shot came in on the right-hand side. And, of course, I had to dive for it. And I did, and I saved it. But the pain that went through my leg as I dived and hit the floor was incredible. And for the rest of the game, well, sorry, I'm lying there. For the rest of the next, I think, 5 or 10 minutes, I should say, every time the ball come to me and I had to make a save, or if a defender, a teammate passed it back to me, you know, I had to grimace and, you know, kick it back to him with my right foot really slowly, or use my left foot, which I'm pretty good with anyway. But it was so painful in the end that I couldn't keep diving on it. And I just kind of put my hands up, like, you know, during play, and I went, lads, I'm going to have to come off. And they thought I was joking, and I went, I'm serious, I've actually pulled my hamstring. And of course, I got teased, relentlessly, ribbed, you know, from then on in. And we did play a few more games, you know, as the months went by. And I didn't get injured after that. But, you know, that little tagline of me, you know, pulling my hamstring and getting injured kind of stuck. And it's typical of me. But anyway, that's enough of that. That was completely pointless. Little anecdote there. But I have been thinking about playing again over here in America. You know, I reckon I can get fit and get rid of the old hamstring problems. But that's, maybe I'm leaving it a bit too late now, knocking on a bit. But you'd never believe it, would you? Fresh-faced, relatively speaking. Anyway, enough. That is nonsense. So, where are we? Is it half-time? No, it's full-time. I didn't even know what was going on. I was talking for so long. So what the hell's going on here? So we've just beaten Exeter. Brilliant. So we've got Rotherham. And this will be the last game of the vid. And let's give them a good hiding. There's the second legs of the League Cup. United beating Bradford 2-1. And City losing to Leicester but going through 4-2 overall. Good. All Manchester final. Brilliant. I'm pleased with that. There we are, confirmation. And for the record, the Coppa Italia in Italy will be between Juventus and Siena. Let's check that out. Again, curiosity. Pirlo. He's a good player, isn't he? Very interesting. So my 2-game suspension has started. And we're playing Rotherham, who are 22nd in the league. Now, if we struggle against these, I'm a Chinaman. And I'm not, so we shouldn't. So come on, let's win this. Let's look at the previous game as per usual. So, we'll take off Sean. And that's the only definite change we'll make. Let's bring Ben back in. Oh, actually, I guess I'm suspended. No, I'm injured. Oh, I'm injured and suspended. Oh, well, it worked out all right in the end, didn't it? So let's bring Christie in for me, and then on the bench we'll put Ash. How did we do at the back? Everyone did really well. I'll keep Matthias on the bench, and I'll bring him on at some stage. Sean's still injured for another couple of weeks. So I'm going to go with the previous lineup. Crash test up front with Pete. Makes sense. COD 2 fan came on and did very well. So I'll keep that. I'll bring Adam off, again, just to mix it up, and I'll put the other Adam on the bench. And we should win. No bones about this. Ooh, good chance by Owen. Don't think Owen scored for a while, has he? I mean, you don't really expect your defensive midfielders to score that many anyway. But it is nice, as I always say, when the goals are shared around the squad. Oh, Crash Test Gaming. Oh my goodness me. Are we going to end another video losing an away game? No, we're not. 1-1. Well done, Pete. Yeah, I've just remembered, actually, our away form. How could I have forgotten? It is shoddy, to say the least. But Rotherham are a poor team. And this should be a win. Let's make one change at half-time. No idea who it's going to be, but let's obviously look at the ratings. Ooh. Yeah, let's bring Stu off and Matthias on. Crash Test has got a 6, so... yeah. Might have to address that situation. He's not going to score in every game. God almighty, nearly did there. But he's having chances. Oh, I don't know what to say. 2-1 down to a really bad team. 3-1 down to a really bad team. 2 in a minute. You are taking the piss out of me, aren't you? Right, this is a disaster. I mean, some of these results... in fact, it's not even the results. It's just away from home we've got a problem. A big problem. And I don't know why. Let's bring Owen off. And let's bring Christie off. There's no point having defensive midfielders. Let's bring them back a little bit. Oh, what am I doing? Yeah, I mean, this just isn't going to plan. We're going to lose to a really bad team here. This was unexpected. Right. Do you know what? I mean, tactics are going to go out the window here, but all-out attack. That's what we're going to do. Long ball. Let's switch them to. Matthias can come back. Let's do that. COD 2 fan. It's all-out attack. I don't know why they're pushing back. I guess maybe just to cover. Minx. We don't want that. Ash. God, these tactics are bloody everywhere. Let's put Ben there. We've got so many players out of position, but it's just an all-out attack, so who cares? Oh, if they score a 4th. Come on, we really need to go in the next few minutes. Oh, this is just... it's not gone to plan. Not gone to plan. Oh, no, this has been a spectacular failure. Yeah, we've lost. I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't expecting to get beat by Rotherham. Maybe them tactics at the end there were a little bit, you know, akin to a lunatic. But we had to do something, and there was only, what, 10, 12 minutes left anyway. Yeah, that was scandalous. And if it wasn't for Alan getting a 9 rating, we may even have conceded more. So that was rubbish. Absolute rubbish. And... yeah, changes for the next game. Matthias did well when he came on, but other than that, dreadful. So once again, we've lost away from home. Once again, it's the last game in the vid. It's some kind of temporary curse that YouTube FC have got. But it will be all right on the night. Oxford won. Bad news. Bradford lost. Good news. Chesterfield lost, again, which is good news, but they lost to York, so a bit of a rival now. Let's check the table out. Again, very tight. Oxford starting to get a big advantage there. There's a 46-game season, remember, so a few games left, but at the same time, starting to run out a little bit. So it's going to be touch and go, but there we are. And there's the bottom of the league. Rotherham, terrible result. Obviously, they're not as bad as Morecambe and Rochdale. Morecambe, 92 goals. Jesus. But yeah, that was a poor result. Make no bones about it. And just for a laugh, let's check out the team form and specifically the away form. Lost our last 3. Yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe away from home we should be being a bit more conservative and mixing up the formation a little bit. Maybe going more attack-minded. You know, mixing it up a bit away from home. So I might look to doing that because I don't think it's a coincidence that away from home we're very patchy, and at home we're formidable, really. So yeah, I'm going to have to address that. So anyway, the next game, we've got Chesterfield. That's going to be a big, big game. They're third, I think, third or fourth. In fact, we just saw the table. I can't even remember. Let's check where they are. They're second. So that's going to be a massive game. And then we've got Brentford away in the first leg of the Auto Windscreen Shield final. Then we've got Bradford, another massive game because they're fourth, but with games in hand. And then we've got the second leg against Brentford there, with the winner going through to the final. So what a massive month that's going to be. Looking forward to that. Kind of a little bit nervous as well, if I'm honest. It's only a game and I'm bloody nervous. It's unbelievable. Anyway, thanks for watching. See you next time.